Okay, aloha everyone. This is MiraKle King and welcome to Kamu. The great silence after union. And today's transmission, we are so nobly honored to have dear guest and Sister Hermana Sandra De Vos, who is a light code alchemist and sound transmitter, travels the globe, activating beloved family to get multi-dimensional.
Yes.
And so we're excited to have you here on this beautiful Shasta day.
Wow. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So we wanted to talk to you today about a little bit of the gateway work that we've been doing in this sacred spot here on Mount Shasta. And Sandra actually got to come here from South America or Central America, from Costa Rica, and experience Shasta in a very unique way. She signed up to be part of the CLM EarthGate Immersion, where we spent a week on the mountain with a core crew of us, and it was a very powerful week in which we anchored temple space. We anchored a sanctuary here, really honoring the communiversity work that I've been doing here in Mount Shasta and around the world. And we immersed ourselves every day in a different thematic color ray, as well as the informational gateway that came through the coherent living model. So the coherent living model is a self-governing organizational intelligence template for how we can actually not only individually embody the new earth frequency, but also vibrate in harmony with those around us, and to bring forth this round wheel, or this kind of Stargate round table way of organizing and coming together through deep states of meditation, as well as activation, nourishment, as well as downloading and transmitting information, so that we can do the work that we came here to be first, and then be able to be connected while we activate what's possible for future generations, and set an exemplification role model field for future generations. So Sandra was here and got to dive into the whole week, and would love to ask you, what drew you to Shasta and to this work with Kamu and the CLM, and to be a part of this magical week that happened, and your experiences.
Well, it actually started 7 years ago when Mount Shasta called me in a vision. And I really felt, wow, when I'm ready, I'm coming. And then last May, 20th of last May, I got the hit to come. And I was just in bliss. So I booked a flight. It got cancelled 4 times. And then exactly...
That's right.
Yeah. And then exactly just the day before, or 3 days before we were going to go on the mountain, I arrived. So that was a beautiful sign for me, that it was so the right timing to be here. And so to me, being part of this emergence was very opening and grounding at the same time. Being here at Mount Shasta, for me, it's such a portal of multidimensionality, and at the same time, such a grounding. And while we were here sharing the space with some other brothers and sisters, I literally, energetically gave birth to New Earth. And I had been holding a cosmic baby inside of my belly for 2.5, 3 years. And even until the point that I looked pregnant for 5 months pregnant. And then here, of course, I've done all kinds of other work to do the release work, but here it was, wow, this new earth template was being born. So that's the first thing that drops in my mind as my experience of this week that we spent here together. Yeah. And then at the same time, of course, we know about sacred geometry and the power of it, but we've been building this earth stargate, but with these big stones, like pyramids. So, of course, you knew the plan, you had the plan, but we didn't know. So you gave us your inspiration, and we would go off, wander around everywhere here to find the right size stones, sacred stones, pohakus. And it was quite a physical work, but that is how we then, with so much precision and dedication, built this sacred earth stargate. With only a compass and a line to check. And it was really on the millimeter perfect. And then when we sat there in the earth stargate, it was just so powerful. You could actually really intensely feel the opening into the earth and into the cosmos. So now we know how it is. We know about the power of sacred geometry, but really building it from the sacred stones around and then sitting in it together with like-minded people, that was just really precious. Yeah. So I'm very grateful for that very powerful experience. And I can only imagine if that is what I feel in such an earth and stargate, what a ripple effect it has on the world. And that is why I'm so grateful for doing this work together with you and the others, because I know in my heart that this is what is needed on our Mother Gaia to anchor in that multidimensional frequency, to be able to actually really manifest what we came here for, what we came here to do.
Yes, that's so key, to actually
make
manifest.
It happen. Yeah.
Because there's so many conversations out there of people trying to do it online and trying to navigate in the world of the matrix that's no longer working, and we're seeing that with this whole corona and this, all of this quarantining, and we're in a vibration right now where literally there's only one way out, and that's so deeply in with others than to actually how to manifest that. And we're not saying that technology is bad. We're just saying that we have to come into a sacredness with technology to make it into a sacred knowledge. And of course, geometry is the core feature within this coherent living model. And it's easy to look at crop circles or to check out different geometric forms and things that we learned in school, but to actually bring the sacred into it and bring that occult wisdom. A lot of people liken the work that I've been doing for the last 20 years as an open source mystery school, where we honor both the unconscious, the negative, the unseen, the darkness, all the things that we the pain and the suffering, as much as we honor then the light and the coherency and the connection and the harmonization and the transmutation through Ho'oponopono, forgiveness, and alleviating the suffering and using all the fertilizer of that pain and negativity for positivity, upliftment.
It's bringing them together.
Bringing it together into that void, bringing it together into that sacred kamu, that sacred stillness after union. And so we got to really experience that in this first group, and Of course, very uniquely, because I've brought, many people to Mount Shasta for the last 20 years, and I've anchored these templates with geometries and with sacred stone henges. We literally created a Stonehenge, and in Hawaii we call them heiaus, stone temples. And when you do that with great honoring and great reverence, what happens is everything comes alive. And you're in open source Earth Stargate school. And the CLM is how we all of a sudden self-organize and we come together. And it becomes a dynamic and also powerful and nourishing process that affects all of our waking, dream, and dreamless states of being. And I think for you, Sandra, it was like so amazing to kind of see you before, everything. You came from Costa Rica and the flights and, kind of just finally getting into your body here and then going to the springs and coming here. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're just in it. And then seeing you go through the process every day and seeing the transformation, which was palpable. And it's one thing to kind of be in a beautiful retreat center, and we've all done that, right? In a box and great food, and that's beautiful too. Beautiful. I've done hundreds of events like that over the years, but to actually bring it into a collective inner, like direct action, applicable vision quest, an inner vision quest, and to actually, not that you're just in stillness and in union, but you're actually applying that.
Oh yeah.
And you're bringing up all kinds of stuff, your fears, your weaknesses, all the parts of you that don't want to fully be in the body.
Exactly.
It's embodiment.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what so many people are having a problem with right now, because there's so much fear and limitation and distractions, and stay on the computer and stay on the screen and get more smart grids up, and we've forgotten how intelligent we are when we're in our bodies, and we can master those energies and get the downloads and then quickly apply them with one another, with other sisters and brothers, like you said, and it becomes this tangible, like living, breathing, experiential process. And the mystery school is not something where we're just kind of like out here, out of our body.
Conceptualizing.
Yeah, conceptualizing it. It's like in the body. It's like right here, you know.
With Mother Shasta here.
with Mother Shasta and the earth and all the informational gateways she has for, all the other 6 kingdoms besides just the human one. Some of us are so selfish. We just think about only us. But we got 6 other kingdoms to be universally responsible for. And so and I really feel that, you really uniquely got so much out of this experience. And I know that in a sort of immersion process, you're only going to get sort of an introduction. But since that time, you've also been able to, more recently, in the last few days, even take that even deeper in anchoring the crystalline energies into the field. And specifically, Mount Shasta is such a Lemurian portal, The Lemurians gravitated here before the fall and destruction of Lemuria many 12 to 13,000 years ago. And so there's a strong, subterranean city called Telos here. And when we anchor all of this CLM EarthGate energies into the, what we're calling the kamu-gate now, and connecting it into the inner earth, how was your experience of understanding, even just most recently with bringing in the crystal energy? And what can you say about that? How was that experience not only helping you to understand and embody and receive the knowledge and wisdom of CLM, but how did it come to another iteration for you?
So, first of all, with a really pure focus and connection with those crystals, it was like a dance. It was like a dance of, I just need to really go back into it again. It's very interesting. So it was like a dance of all kinds of different energies, And we allow both to totally allow that specific energy to come through and to at the same time be totally anchored in the earth. And so it literally was a dance of colors, a dance of breakthroughs. Yeah, a dance of breakthroughs. At some point, I literally felt clicking in deeper into my soul's mission and my actually understanding of who I am even more. And and then every time when we anchored this next crystal, there was another energy, another movement going on, and I could literally see that every single crystal was being connected in this earth stargate to be flexible and super grounded and open to receive all that wisdom that we need to make it happen.
Yeah, I could feel that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was beautiful to be in this weave of you as, anchoring the foundations of what has been imprinted here by many different immersions and vision quests by individuals and groups over the years, and kind of taking it to this whole other level this time, and then seeing it sort of birth once you have this deep foundational wisdom of this henge, and then seeing how our ancestors were able to come through and anchor and expand that crystalline energy, and seeing you move through your emotional waves, and seeing you get the transmissions and the downloads and the tears and the releases, and also the packets, of transference of presence and consciousness, and the different inner intelligence but evolutionary master energies that hold space on this mountain come through you.
Oh yeah.
And give you these really tangible somatic, downloads. And then see you in your bliss and your happiness and your expansion and your wings flying, and just, and the depth, of what Kamu represents. I know that you went through a lot, and still things are processing, and still things are integrating, and there's more different waves, but maybe you can speak a little bit about how, your process may help other people's processes. Like, what would you say to other people who are watching this particular, Kamu transition, interview that we're doing? What can you say to them of what they would get out of an experience like this?
So,
what does it do for someone out there?
Yeah.
A brother or a sister?
Yes. So what I see is it is opening up. It's literally, I see this egg that is really cracking open, and this egg is way too small. But that's where what you realize for example, when I was here in this experience, and what I'm sure other people are going to experience too, then you really realize, you might even know it already, but you realize, wow, I can move even way beyond what I thought was possible. So you're cracking open the limits that even already might have felt uncomfortable. But by totally committing yourself to be vulnerable and open to have the dance with the energies, whatever is gonna want to come up is gonna come up. So it is an invitation for a big expansion. And also a realigning of you on your path, you on your mission. And the side tracks will become clearer so that you can keep on your path. So that is what I see. It's an adjustment, it's a realignment, and it's a sinking in deeper in your body, and at the same time connecting to your multidimensionality. that's what I see and what I've experienced, and what I can definitely imagine that many people will experience. Yeah.
Would you say it gives you a deeper, now you have a deeper understanding, so previous to your arrival here, and then doing all this work with me and, you know, the crew here and the communiversity, you know, vision, would you say that you have, and I know you're still unfolding in that as we move along here in the timeline, but would you say that you are more committed and grounded to this work than ever before as an open source mystery school, and that it actually is helping you to understand the types of groups and individuals that can interweave together at a certain frequency and energy?
Yeah, that's a very good point, because it has become very clear to me all the different roles or positions or whatever we want to call it that are all about, it's all about working together in all those different roles and acknowledging the differences in everybody, and with that weaving this coherent living model. Yeah, so that has brought me quite some clarity as well, and also realizing what my position is in this collective. I have already had this knowledge and knowing for quite a while, but now it clicked in. It was as a confirmation, and it clicked into my body. Right? So
Yeah.
I know my position, and that feels very powerful.
Yes. Because a lot of people are really having, you know, a depressed state right now.
Yeah, and
in the
just
state
floating.
of, like, even, you know, I would say, quote unquote, you know, light workers, or, you know, people on the path. You know, there is a depressed state right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of loss happening because of fires and, you know, environmental disasters and water rising and economic fallout and, you know, all the things in the 3D, because those models that are based on competition, that are based on win-lose, you know, and even win-win-win, because we're not working in win-win-win anymore, because we create non-localized separation and duality. You know, if me and you are winning, that means someone else not in time with us is losing and losing. So how do we create a 1-1? And that's really, how do we all come into our own unified field of embodied oneness and then step in to a wheel, you know, a wheel of, you know, unified gender, males and females coming together to be on point and on purpose, to be in truth and to navigate nourishment and nurturing and come from the heart, but also come from empowerment and to serve the all. And I think that's the thing that's missing right now. And I think a lot of people are going through this sort of, you know, despair. You know, there's a despair of like, what do we do? We know this isn't feeding our soul anymore if, you know, if people are still kind of weaving in and out of the matrix.
But what is next?
No one knows what's next. No. And so we have, you know, very humbly attempted to provide an answer that is still a collective quest. It's still an open-ended, open-source mystery school, and yet there is guides here. There are, you know, there is guidance here, not only through me as a visioneer, but also in a facilitator of CLM, but also, you know, like up-leveling and upgrading. How do we work as a we thinking from a space of we seeing and we actually being and we, you know, breathing and we feeling and we, you know, sensing and we doing
and we weaving together
and
everything.
we weaving. Exactly. It's the we weave. And that's the thing, is like, it's, you know, there's so many groups out there attempting to do this, but mainly it's been online, or it's been in sort of closed mystery schools, you know, where it's women working together, or only men's group working together, or goddess circles, and, you know, and we're not saying there's anything wrong with that, but how can we move together in an equal value philosophy and in a gender equanimity to create holistic unified living. It seems so simple, and yet we have no examples of this in the world. And there are probably some that are working very under the radar. There's a handful that I've experienced, but on the general whole, this model for coherent living has not existed until this point. Until those of us who are coming together to actually weave it into the depth of the surface and the crust and the mantle and the inner earth, to really connect it all the way down into the heartbeat of Mother Earth, which is at the center of this planet.
Yeah.
And when we do that, all of a sudden we are receiving information.
Yeah.
And we are activating together, and we're weaving, as you said, and I think that's what's so important for this time. And it's so, I've talked about this in so many of my transmissions in the last 5 or 6 months about how we have to come together now. And a lot of people are asking, well, how do we create a unit principle of consciousness? How do we create that core soul star family? Because a lot of people, even yourself right now, are looking around and thinking, who are my allies? Where are my people? And a lot of people who we thought maybe were able to hold it down are completely going into illusion, completely going back like Cypher in the Matrix, like, give me a nice glass of wine, give me 3 more Teslas, make me an actor or an actress, right? When they're not even shooting movies anymore, hardly, right? So it's just like this total illusion. It's like illusion within illusion within illusion. And there has to be a breath of fresh air. And I really feel like, what we're doing here in beloved Mount Shasta, and with all the dimensionalized beings, weaving what's possible for humanity.
Yeah.
And really calling forth those that are still in their enlightened heart sovereign mastery, both good men and, incredibly beautiful women, to really show up and embody and master what's possible together. So, yeah, I'm really excited to, we've kind of set the tone already, and what's coming up here is the equinox.
Yeah.
And the equinox, we're going to be offering a really powerful, kamu-gate equinox immersion from September 24th to the 30th. And it really is the last immersion of 2020 as we move into the winterizing phase and things start to get cold. But it's honoring that equanimity. It's honoring that balance. And we've really set the foundational crystalline tone.
Yeah.
And so grateful for you and being a part of that process, and seeing you both give and receive and also transform and just get all the amazing upgrades that are available in this sacred, temple henge space, that we're going to be doing this work on the mountain. And, there's just something that can't be said about the level of embodiment that happens when you start to really work with all the different Davic intelligences and elementals of the earth. This beautiful moon dust, this lava dust, working with these trees and these plants and shrubberies and, these epic landscapes, and having the eagles and the hawks fly over us, and, all the confirmations that we've been receiving of because it always in the ancient future times, we hearken back to these ancient civilizations. This is how they were created, like the whole like Arcturian, round table of the knights and the kings and the queens and the ladies of waiting, and all coming together, and all these sort of chivalry and this mystical energy of being overlighted by Merlin, that magical energy of Saint Germain, and all of this frequency that's still very palpable here on this mountain, and working with all these master beings. And we still can fine-tune our energies and get in to these incredible allowances when we start to communicate, and the mystery becomes this demystifying process, because we start to see how the geomancy and the understanding of the nervous system of the earth comes together, not only inside of our bodies but also outside of us tangibly, and how we are all an intricate portion of this Gaia nervous system that's coming back into alignment as the 3D implodes and the 3D no longer makes sense, and everything is falling apart. And this is probably one of the most epic, opportune times for us to come together as a core crystal Kamu family unit, and to show up for the deep work possible of both men and women synergizing that sacred union, that sacred Kamu. And so I'm just really excited to be able to offer this and to facilitate this one last time in 2020, and grateful that you were a part of it and you got to experience all the different empowerments and wisdom and overflowing love of the cosmos.
There was actually today was this hawk circling above the Earth Stargate. It was just so beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, the hawk is the spirit messenger, right? So that's the spirit messenger calling all of you to the round wheel to activate this Earth Stargate, which we're calling the kamu-gate equinox immersion. And if you feel us and you want to join us, check out the links below, and be sure to get on board, because it's all happening right here, right now. Yeah.
Thank you for being such a pillar of light here. The world really needs you and more of us. So thank you.
Yes.
Very honored to connect with you and to see how you weave in the brilliance of your inspiration into every single person that is taking part in the group dynamics. So thank you for that.
Well, it's an honor to have you here, and so glad to just hear your experiences. And I know that you're still in the wombation of Mama Apu Shasta, and all the crystalline informational gateways are coming in to open up more of our inner crystal right here. And and it's really it's so, I just want to speak a little bit before we close. And I know that I've kind of brought you into the epic books that 15, 16 years ago, when I first started my divinejoy.org ministry, we really got to go on a deep dive with this author Jesse Ayani, this dear sister who wrote the Lineage of the Codes of Light and the Brotherhood of the Magi, which are just amazing books. And then even volume 1, volume 2, I think she's writing volume 3 of the Priestess and the Magus. And so it's all of these books really are this sort of non-fictional, now age, new earth fictionary of what we're doing. And she wrote this beautiful narrative of this plot of exactly what we're going through now, with organized darkness and all the different energies out of ignorance, confusion, trying to hijack the system, and trying to enslave people's consciousness, and trying to infiltrate people so they can't fulfill their mission and fulfill their purpose, from spirit all the way down into holistic, unified living matter. And I think it's just so cool that you're like having these downloads in the book
at the same
that you
time
downloaded while you're also doing the work with me and everyone else. And so it's just there are definitely no accidents here. It's all just a synchronized destiny,
all coming together.
It's just serendipitously synchronizing. And so we're fully in this yes-destiny right now. We are just saying the full yes to this. And thank you so much. And thanks for being part of this Kamu transmission. And look forward to more of your sharings and how it's going to weave in, and
we'll
it's
see how
all
it's
unfolding.
going. Yes, just opening up more and more. If we can do that, if we can just open up more and more and more and receive more and receive on different levels of dimensions, then we're just gonna come offline, right? More of who we are, and that's how we serve the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So mahalo keako, everyone. Thank you so much for being part of this Kamu transmission with dear Sandra, and I'm MiraKle King, and may you have a glorious day wherever you are on the planet, and we look forward to seeing some of you soon. Equinox is around the corner. So much love.
Na halai ne ka amokuna I le artai le kwartik antek limania takang ratuk lincet na haka ku lenda ai ne glebur ni otil e chaka portai ye ku chik amaku latando ko kurti puchkulta nyengo holui libriantina inika wasi kai watik katil michuk hwa kacha le na yapuata ngrutul ke pichinka machilu iti mashikua inda suku shiwante mahika wati how watil bindi na inara chunjashiwa akiwaka warni mati